Hey fellow mamas, welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Now let's get started with today's episode.
Hey, so we were just talking about military childcare and what that's really like for individuals who want to use childcare, or like the CDC on base, or if you want to go off base. There's a lot of things that you might hear about, like how does the CDC work? How much money are they going to take? When can I put my babies in there? What age do they have to be? All that good stuff. And so we're going to talk about that today. And actually Tara's going to talk about it because I've never used the CDC, but both of her kids are in the CDC. And so, yeah, do you want to tell us kind of just everything you know, I guess, about like the CDC and how it all worked for you?
Yeah, so first there's a website called militarychildcare.com. That's where you go to register for the location that you're at for the base to see if childcare is available. So the CDC Child Development Center is what is used for on-base care. They have different options too. So if you are not near a military installation, you can still be covered, and there are fee assistance programs that you can use that you can find on militarychildcare.com. So some of those are the family child care assistance, and they basically, if you're living too far from a base, if there's no base location near you, you can look up the community prices around your area, and you can sign up, or you can apply basically, and request fee assistance. So it'll cover a portion of your community care costs, and then you'll cover the rest of it. So basically it would give you the prices that you would have taking your child on a base and pay for that portion. You would just come out of pocket for the additional cost that you would be.
So like for an example, like just make sure I understand it. So like let's say you can't go to the CDC or they don't have one, but the child care in that area, let's say it's $1,000 a month. You would get that $1,000 a month to go towards child care, which that might cover it or that might cover 90% of it, and then you are supposed to pay the remainder out of pocket.
So it should bring your total down to what childcare would be on base. Oh. So if childcare goes from your family income from your household and how many kids that you have going to the CDC. So I know that on base, if you have multiple children, sometimes you can get a discount.
Gotcha.
If I were to take my kids off base and go out in town, it would be significantly more expensive because they're doing community prices rather than the DoD.
So it's kind of like
prices.
a price match then.
Yeah, and so it would come down based on your income. And so you go on the military child care website, you upload all your paperwork, like your LES, or whatever pay stubs that you have, and they would give you a price, and then that's what you would pay for the CDC on base. And then you, from what I understand, you take that to the community care, and then they would base it off of that. Any additional fees, like if there's additional fees for food, or if they charge something additional, then that's what you would be paying additionally. But it would bring you to the price, like what you said, a price match of what you would pay on base. That way, as a service member, you do get, I wouldn't say like totally discounted, but it is more affordable to go on an on-base installation provided.
And even then, more affordable is still super expensive.
I mean, out in town, especially like some places don't give you a discount for a second kid, a third kid, a fourth kid. Basically sometimes if you have two people working in a household, one of the incomes is going just towards childcare every month. So it can be, it can be super expensive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but if you are in a dual military household, sometimes you don't have that option. You have to have daycare. So that's what it was for me.
How long did it take you to like get approved? Because I mean, I've never actually put in an application, but I've heard the CDC always has like a super long waiting list, and I know that there's certain like criteria for different tiers. Like if you're single with kids, or if you're dual military with kids, like your application kind of gets moved to a certain spot in line. Like, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so there are priority categories. So the people who work at the CDC, they're in a category. Single service members are in a category. Dual service members are in a category. Dual employed parents are in a category. So if you have a working wife and a working husband, or a working primary and a working secondary, that's in a category.
That aren't military?
Correct. Like if your spouse is not in the military, but a working spouse, then you have more priority over a stay-at-home spouse would.
Okay.
So those, and it goes in like a tier. So depending on which priority you are, you know, you're given the number. So people who are PCSing into the area also have priority if they're dual military. So say you've been on the wait list and you have a stay-at-home spouse and you guys are like, we've been on the wait list for a year and we haven't gotten selected. It's because other people are bumping you down.
Okay.
And nothing for nothing, it's because a stay-at-home spouse has the ability to watch the kids. But it does make it really hard. Like I know people who have been on the wait list for 2 years because they want to, they want to go get a job, but they can't because they have their kids. So they're trying to get their kid in daycare so they can go get a job. And it's like, keep getting bumped down from the list. But childcare in your neighborhood, on the militarychildcare.com website, there's a separate portion called childcare in your neighborhood. And that is what you can apply for, that can get you childcare off base, like the fee assistance program. It's like partnered with that, I guess. And that can get you childcare off base with the same prices as on base, if you aren't close to your base or if you're on the wait list. Okay. So say you can't get into the CDC, any location on base, you can try to go out in town with that assistance program.
Even if it's just like as an interim until you are able to get approved on the list. Because I remember like as soon as I got pregnant, that was one of the things that someone told me was like, you need to go put yourself on a CDC list like right now.
Which you can, but they won't offer you childcare. So the way it works is you put which base that you want to be on. You can't really put a location. I think you can select 3. I can't remember exactly, but once you go on the website, it's really easy to navigate. You go on there, you select your base, and then you submit all your documentation. And once you're closer, you put expected date of childcare needed. And once you've had the baby, you call them back, you let them know like, hey, I had the baby on this day, I will now be expecting childcare on whatever day. So if you are prolonging vaccines, or if you're prolonging anything, or you just want to use your entire convalescent leave and then your entire 3 months or 84 days of PTAD, all of those things, or if you want to separate it, like if you're dual military and one of you wants to use your 3 months and the other one wants to use their 3 months to prolong that time that your child has to be in daycare, you can let the CDC know that, and you're not getting bumped from the list, but you're just saying my expected date is this day. That way they're not continuously offering you things and you're turning it down. Okay. Once they do offer you a childcare spot, jump on it, say yes, pick it no matter what. That's what I did for my first child, and he wasn't going at the base is really big where we're at. And so there's multiple CDCs on this military installation located in different spots. And like Camp Lejeune is super big. Camp Pendleton is super big. Those large installations have multiple daycares or childcare options because it's so large. They offered me one that was like super out of my way. And I said yes, but I said yes to it before I actually came to my date that I needed the care. And then during that time, I think it was like 3 weeks before he was actually going to start daycare, that I said, hey, I would rather be at this CDC instead of this location. And they were like, okay, we'll transfer your care. And then he was able to be transferred from that one to the other one.
Okay.
With my second, that was a different story. They offered me care on a different base. So I have, there's 3 different bases in the area. So I work on one base. The other base is super large, and then there's a smaller base next to it. The child care that my first is going to is on the big base. I work on a smaller base, and the child care they offered my second one was at the different base.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. Yeah, and they're like, well, you need to accept the care or else you'll be put like, if you deny it, then you'll be put down at the bottom of your category of the list again. Right. And I was like, that just seems crazy. And so I put my Karen wig on and I called and I was like, you're offering me something that's on a complete different base. What do you expect? I have to go on 3 different bases every single day, twice a day.
Get home at 7 p.m.
Yeah, who's going to pay for my gas? But anyways, just call them and let them know your situation, and then they are more than willing to work for you. I declined that offer, and then I got a new offer for the same one that my son goes to. So now they're both the same daycare. But
that's good.
Anyways, it's a long process, and you can't really get it started until after you have the baby, but you can get all your paperwork and stuff submitted beforehand.
So you can't apply until the baby's born, or you can apply?
You can apply before, when you find out you're pregnant, you can apply and submit all your paperwork and everything and get put for the expected date that you want care. So whether that's your due date, or sometimes it asks for your due date or your expected care date.
Okay.
And then you can put all that stuff in. And again, maybe the website has changed, I don't know, but it's very easy to navigate once you get on there.
Okay.
And you can always call like your local, just Google it, you can call your local CDC Child Development Center and ask them questions, and normally they're really good. Like customer service is really good. So
I know they have to accommodate for different like spots that open up and all that, but part of me is like frustrated. I don't even use the CDC, but part of me is frustrated that they don't automatically look at like your profile and like, oh, she already has one child with this place, let's put the other child in this place. Like I feel like that should be part of.
I know they try. I know the point is that they try, but like so many things factor in, like PCS season, like who's coming in. Employees that work there do get, I think, the number one priority because they have to go there to provide for your kids as well as like their kids. So they get priority, and they are. I don't have anything bad to say about the CDC. They are very accommodating. I know that somebody probably didn't look at it before they requested it, but maybe it was also kind of like, oh, well, if you accept care, then you can transfer care more easily. But I just decided to decline the care. But I will say I only have amazing things to say about the CDC on base. I know some people are like, oh, if it's by the government, like it must be but I have had nothing but good things. Like the ladies that work there and the men that work there have all been great.
That's good.
Both of my kids have done well so far. Like my son is in the toddler class now, and my other son's in the infant class, the same class that my oldest was in. So the ladies that are there know my oldest son.
That's cool.
Cleanliness. I toured off-base childcare in the area, and both the ones that are on my way to work, literally I was so disappointed with. Like I walked in and the smell, just like you know when somebody mops with like a sour mop, like like it's that smell, and it's like somebody cleaned with Fabuloso but they used a dirty mop head. Like why are we, or they're wiping something down.
Fabuloso ain't cleaning anything, it's just a smell. That's a boot camp 101 trick.
Yeah, if it smells good, then it must be clean. But no, that's just stinky. Like one of the places, they had the infant pacifiers on like a paper towel next to a sink that was like damp. You know when a paper towel dries over and over and it's like looks hard, and all the passies were
like
on
they
there.
reused it.
Yeah, and or like they shake the passy off and then just put it on there in the water. And then you know like the curtains are drawn because all the babies are sleeping at different times, and it's dark in the room, and I'm just like, no, I don't like it. But I go into the CDC and it's like they have sound machines near every crib. Like the infant rooms is max 10 infants, and you need for every, I think it's 4 or 5 infants is one teacher. And so they constantly have people coming in. That way they're not over ratio for how many kids are in the room.
And I heard they have like cameras. So like if you wanted to just see like what are they doing right now? Like you can log in to something and
I don't think the one that I'm at doesn't have that you can log in, but they do have cameras in every single room and every single hallway. You can literally see every inch of that place, and they have the cameras displayed when you walk into the entrance of the CDC. So you can look in the rooms. It's kind of like a accountability thing, I would say, so that they can show the parents like, hey, this is what we see every day. This is how we're monitoring things. As far as like food, they're very good with listing people's allergies. They're very good with if your kid has sensitivity, we'll try to accommodate. Like when my oldest was switching from breast milk to cow's milk, like when he went up to the pre-tod room, they don't give bottles anymore. You eat lunch and you do all of that. And I'm like, well, he's still taking breast milk. And so they helped with that transition. They weren't like, oh no, absolutely not. They were like, okay, well, we don't normally do this, but we can put your bottles in the kitchen, make sure they're labeled, da 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 da. And they worked with me in order to get Mac transitioned off of breast milk. So
That's nice.
and transitioned on to cow milk because he had the sensitivity and it was just bad. Like his stomach, he couldn't take it, so it just took us a little bit longer. But yeah, they're super good. In the infant room, man, the bottles are labeled with how many ounces, what day it is, what type of milk it is, whether it's breast milk. The name is on the bottle, the name is on the cap. You put it in a little cubby that has your kid's picture on it. They have little wraps that go around each bottle that has your kid's picture. Like the amount that they go to make sure that they don't f it up is amazing. And
That's
like,
really
is
good.
it tedious? But they're not going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have it written on the board. I have nothing bad to say about it. I've had a great experience. I know other people don't have the same experience, but I've been blessed to have that.
Yeah, just knowing they're
experience.
organized and they've got their shit together, like gives you some type of peace and assurance. Like, okay, well, I know he's getting my breast milk and not some random
Somebody else's or a formula that he's not used to or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. I've definitely heard horror stories, but I've never had experience, you know what I mean? And I think every location's different, and I think every base is different, you know? So what was I gonna say?
they do little activities, like they'll stamp his feet, like in the infant classroom, and they'll put like, I don't know, over there it says hot diggity dog.
I actually saw that. That's cute.
And it's like a popsicle for the 4th of July. I have him hanging up there, but it's like his little foot.
That's
and they
so
do like
sweet.
activities like that in the infant room.
Yeah.
Max stuff. Like they have a whole stack of papers. It's like one color line. And it's like, here you go, Mom. This is what you did today. I'm like, super cute. It's going in the garbage. Like, but I'll take it out of your hands.
Yeah, that's really cute. I think that's good because I know like a lot of people try to do like family or friends daycare because it might be cheaper or like you might trust them more or whatever. But then most of the time, like you're not getting family and friends to, you know, go the extra mile of doing a craft with your baby for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's one thing that I feared the most. And I think a lot of parents like get in their head about is, oh, I'm not with my baby all day. Like I might be missing out, or what if they're doing something and I don't get to see it? Like, I think that's really cool that they at least do like an activity or something that you get to see, like, you know what I mean? Like you get to kind of be a part of that. And it doesn't feel like you're just away from your kid all the time, you know?
It does suck. Like it does suck putting your kid in the CDC. Like I know we've probably talked about it before. I cried.
Yeah.
The first day dropping Mac, probably the first month of dropping Mac off every single day. And then with Nash, definitely the first day I cried, but at that point I was like, okay, this is what we do every day.
Yeah.
And dropping them off that early, like the CDC will take babies at 6 months as long as they're fully vaccinated. So you have to be fully vaccinated in order to use any option, DOD option, on-base option.
A lot out in town are like that too.
Yeah, so that is, I know some people, like I know that you didn't vaccinate, and that was one of the things that pushed you to want to, you know, be a stay-at-home mom and prolong daycare if you had to stay in. But if you're dual military or you absolutely need childcare, like I didn't really have a choice. I needed childcare. I don't have any family in the area. I don't have any other options. So that's just what worked best for me. And that's what we decided to do. They will take babies up to 6 weeks old as long as they're vaccinated. And then I believe that it goes through pre-K. 5 years old. I think you can go up to 5 years old. They can be in daycare. So 6 weeks to 5 years old is the time frame that you.
What are
can
you gonna
have
do
them.
after?
Then they go to school. Like they go to elementary school or pre-K.
And then you just find like an after school program? Because typically schools get out, what, like 2 or 3, but you still might have to work to 4 or something.
Yeah. So I think a majority of places like YMCA does a lot of programs that will do before school care and after school care for a price, like maybe it's like $100 a week or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure you can find that on any YMCA website or explore the militarychildcare.com website and see they do have a lot of fee assistance programs that can help offset some of the costs. There's also one of the things called a FHA or FSA. I can't remember what it's called. I have one. I can't even remember what it's called. But you can use it specifically for childcare. You can use it for health things, and it basically takes pre-tax money so that you don't get taxed on the price, or you don't get taxed on what you're paying for as long as it falls into one of the categories. So I use that for childcare too, and that can help offset some costs.
Right. And we talk a lot about younger kids because, you know, her oldest is like 2. So we don't really have a lot of experience with older kids or teenagers or anything yet. But on that military childcare website that you had mentioned, there is like a spot on there for like school age kids. Like there are resources for older kids. We just can't really speak to it because we've never really dabbled in any of that.
Yeah. Like there's a summer camp. There's a summer camp program that you can do if your kids are out of school for the summer, but you're still going to work. Yeah. It is like daycare basically, and it goes through 7th grade. I don't know what age 7th grade is, but you can start, I believe it's kindergarten through 7th grade, and it's the same exact thing. You go to the military childcare website, and it's on base. So I think it's at one of the high schools or something on the base that we're at. But they do have options, and they try to work with you. And again, if you have any questions, like call your CDC facility and they can help, or go to the military childcare website, and there's like one of those ask for assistance things that you can type in your question and somebody will help you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tara was saying, I haven't ever used childcare at all because I ran into the problem of, my child isn't going to be vaccinated, so we're not going to accept her. That was actually one of the things that was a big push for me to get out, because you can't just take your kid to work, especially like in the military. You know, we don't really have a bring your kid to work day, especially if you're like, you know, like if you're in the infantry or like something more hazardous. You definitely can't bring your kid there, even if you run into something. So that's not really an option.
Shame you. The shame.
Oh my gosh,
heaven forbid your kid have to miss school one day and you bring them in, and it's just like, why are you here with your kid? And it's like,
that is one thing about the CDC I've heard just from like passing from like other people, is like the moment your kid has like a fever or like anything, they're gonna call you and, hey, your kid can't come back for a day. Like even if they lose the fever, they still make you wait like a certain amount of time. So
24 hours, and you can't give any Tylenol. And if it's over 101, or I'm sorry, if it's over 100.1, that's considered a fever, and you have to come and get your kid, which is okay. Like I don't want my kid to be in daycare and feel bad, but you can't bring them back until it's 24 hours without a fever. If that happens to you, you can get a note from the CDC, and they should provide you that paperwork, which is for the military. It's like a DOD document, and you can take that to work, and it's basically like an SIQ chit that you can show your command, and also they have the reference, like the DOD manual reference that you can provide, saying like if it's over a fever, this is 24 hours that you can bring your. So there is things that you can do to alleviate any punitive action.
Yeah. So that way you're like legally, whatever you want to say, like you're actually exempt from work. Like, hey, the place that watches my kid isn't going to watch my kid, even though my kid's better. We haven't reached that 24 hours or whatever. Because if you're dual military, it's like, well, nobody's home.
Yeah,
so.
It's like SIQ. Like your kid is SIQ. That means you are SIQ with your kid, and that is the documentation that you take, so that they can literally mark you like an MOL if you're a Marine. You know, like if you're on convalescent leave or if you're on regular leave, they can mark you as SIQ.
Yeah,
sick in quarters.
Yeah. Basically just like a doctor's note. But I guess that is one thing to be cautious of like you might have to miss a couple of days of work because like your kid's sick. Like there's nothing you can do about it. Just know like Tara was saying, like you're covered. But anyway, I don't know how I started talking about
the vaccine. Like the reason that you didn't go to CDC for the vaccines.
Yeah, because I was looking into it, because one of the only things I had really learned like in the early stages of pregnancy, like my first time, was you have to get her on the CDC list or whatever. And this is before I heard a lot of rumors about the CDC, so I was on board with it, whatever. But then I went into and like starting applying or whatever, and they're like, I had seen something about like you have to vaccinate like your child's vaccination records, but you can get a waiver if it's for like religious reasons. And mine wasn't for religious reasons, and so I actually called the CDC, and they're like, yeah, like you can do a waiver if you're like religious, like Muslim or something. And I'm like, well, I'm not, but I just don't want my kid to be vaccinated for like health reasons, not religious reasons. And they're like, well, okay, well then she can't come here. And so I had looked on base, like there's a lot of like spouse pages on Facebook of like, hey, we'll watch your kids. And I'm like, I don't know anybody. Sorry, this is my first kid. I'm not just going to drop her off with a stranger on base. Like, I've heard horror stories about, you know, spouses on base. Like, you just hear horror stories about everything. And so I was like, well, I don't want to just leave her on base somewhere. And then I looked off base, and the same thing. I ran into a lot of, well, they need to be vaccinated. And so I was looking for churches because I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll be more understanding. And even most of the churches that were within 30 minutes wanted
full vaccination records.
Yeah. And so what I was going to say was I found like one, it was a church that accepted unvaccinated kids, that it was like almost an hour and 10 minutes away. And I'm like, I'm not driving at 5 a.m. Just to do all that. Like, that's just ridiculous. And so that was like my first real like, oh, things are really like changing or this is going to be a real problem. But so anyway, I kind of really sat there and was like, well, what am I going to do? Like, I can, you know, go against what I want to do and like my judgment on vaccinating my kid, so that way at least she can go to daycare and I can go to work. But then, like you were saying, like basically one person has to work just to pay for daycare. And so I started like running the numbers of things, and we're actually saving money with me staying home and not paying for childcare. But to be honest, like, not to come off like in a weird way at all, I kind of wish she was in daycare, because like being a mom literally from midnight to midnight the next day, it's so exhausting. And like, even like if she was in daycare for 2 hours a day, so I could shower in peace and not have to worry about her putting her finger in an outlet, or like, and cook dinner without a baby around, and just like quietness, like, and she's in that like babbling stage, so it's always like la and yelling, like she loves her voice. Like 2 hours a day of like her in the daycare or something, like that would be amazing. And so I wish I had like the ability to do that. And
that's but it's like a trade-off. It's like, what do you do? Like, do you vaccinate just because you want that? And then it's like, well, am I being awful because is that like a selfish thing? Like, I'm gonna get my kid a bunch of shots so that they can go to daycare just so that I can have free time. Like, I chose to have kids. Like, that's what I asked for.
I know.
But at the same time, like, you know, what do you, that it's not bad that you want that time either. Like, self-care is a huge thing because it makes you a better person, which makes you a better mother, which you know, so there's just, it's so much like once the hamster starts spinning, you can't get that motherfucker to stop.
It really is. And like, I'm only 8 months into it, almost 8 months into it. And so I'm still going through a big transition of being a non-parent to a parent, like full-time parent. And it's not like it's a job when you clock in from 8 to 4, it's every single moment of every single day. You're going to sleep, you're still on the clock. Like, it doesn't end. And I think
I'm a human pacifier at night. Like, literally, he was in the bassinet, now he's in the bed with me because I'm so tired.
Exactly. Like, it is really hard. And so, and then even then, like, if Derek, like my husband, is watching her, it's a, well, I think she might need you for some milk. And like, oh, well, she's saying mama. And like, because, you know, like when they're really young,
I don't care, get away from me.
Exactly.
Like, when you were taking a earlier, did I have the baby sitting right next to you? No, I let you go close the door and you went poop all by yourself. Like,
he doesn't close the door.
Yeah, well, neither does he. But, But it's not the same. It's not
it
the
really
same.
isn't. And I find myself like being like angry almost, and I have to check myself because he gets a 30-minute drive to work where he listens to his podcast or it's just silence. And I'm like, I have a hard time driving because of like some PTSD and stuff. But when I have to drive anywhere, I have a screaming baby in the background because she dropped her toy on the floor and she can't sit in her car seat for more than 5 minutes unentertained. Like,
I swear to God, I just go like this. Like, my whole drive is like this.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely hazardous.
Oh, yeah. But we're a hell of a multitasker, we are. Like,
oh, my gosh, yeah. And I have, like, a camera in my car, so that way I don't, like, have to try to look at anything. It's really nice, and I can see her, and, like, at nighttime, it, like, switches, like, to nighttime mode so you can still see her. It's so much better, because if she's quiet, I'm like, is she choking? And then I look back and I'm like, oh, no, she's actually just calm. Like, okay.
We're just, like, survive. Just like, I can't see you. Like, I'll pull over if I really think you're choking that bad. Like, you would be fine. Drink some water.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
It's such like a mental, like, I don't know about how you experience it, but when she's like crying for like 10 minutes straight and I'm driving and I've got like barely any sleep and just been touched out, I've been doing this like for whatever, however long it would have been, like, it makes me actually feel insane. Like, I feel so crazy. Like, I just want to like yell right back at her and be like, what? Like, what is it? Why are we crying? And it's like, that's not healthy. Like, I can't do that. And so like, if anybody ever wanted to torture me, make me go on a road trip by myself with a baby crying the whole time. Like, you win. Like that's an
Yeah.
automatic. I throw in the towel.
It makes my anxiety like I
Yes.
literally go from like relaxed driving to like, okay, everything is fine.
Yeah, exactly.
And when Mac was like itty bitty and he would cry, I would literally cry too because I'd be at a point where like I can't stop right away.
Right.
And it's seriously something in our bodies. It's like a fight
Yeah.
or flight. Like when we hear babies cry, it's something in our brains
I need to help
that
it.
gives our
Yeah.
body this response to go to our baby
Oh my
because
gosh,
we
yeah.
can't sit there and listen to like people
Right.
who let their kids cry it out. Like I'm not judging you, but I don't know how you do it because I would just sit there and cry too.
Yeah.
And what do I
That's not
what do
good
I
for
want
them.
when I'm crying? I want a hug. Like I
Yeah.
want somebody to hold me.
Yeah.
I want somebody to give me a kiss.
They're crying is a version of, hey, can you give me a drink, bro? I'm thirsty over here.
Yeah, I've got swamp. Like I just did a
Yeah.
wet fart. Can you come clean me up? Like
Yeah.
I can't wipe. I can't do.
Right.
So it's just those basic needs. And when they're scream crying, it just makes you feel awful.
Yeah.
So yeah, driving yeah.
It is.
They get to drive. It's the meme.
Yeah.
It's like making my way down South
Yeah.
Pocket fast.
Yeah.
It's just like us. Like
I know, it really is crazy. Like, I have a 10-minute drive to therapy once a week. Oh my God. It's the best 10 minutes of my life. It's so nice because I'll listen to whatever, like, Esme, she's gotten really accustomed. I listen to a lot of classical music because I'm like a music nerd because like I play instruments and shit. So I listen to a lot of like classical music like when I was pregnant with her and like she loved it. And so we listen to a lot of classical musical now or like country. And that's the only thing she wants to listen to. Like in the car, you play it and she's cool as a cucumber. But I'm like, maybe I want to do a little alternative indie or a little rock. She's like, no, I'm controlling the radio.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. AC/DC? No. Give me some like Zach Bryan right here. I'm like, you're so picky. So it's like, even the little things, like so many things I took for granted. Like I saw this meme and it was like, I used to think I had no time left, like when I was like before a mom. It's like I wish I could go back and slap that bitch in the face. So like, what
you
was I
have
doing?
no idea.
Yeah, like what did I used to do with my time? Like I had so much time. Like was I just staring at the wall? Like
I
it's
know.
crazy.
I think back to like the days where I used to drink and party, and I'm like, how did I sleep until 1 p.m. Like
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the afternoon? If I'm not starting my day by 8 o'clock, we're behind.
Yeah.
Where did the day go at 8? You know what I'm
We're
saying?
6 feet behind, or like yeah. It's so crazy, but I think
I think we got off the topic of like the vaccines and putting our kids in daycare, but
yeah, I think we should do another episode just strictly about vaccines because I think it's a very highly controversial topic, and so I think
need
we'll
more
just
time.
we'll roll into that in a separate episode. So I know you guys have been asking, a couple of you guys have been asking for our takes on vaccines or delayed vaccinations and all that good stuff. Don't worry, we are going to cover that. But today was basically just going over daycares and like
Yeah.
you know, the CDC actually might be the biggest blessing that there is. And I know one thing we didn't talk about, so just talk about it really quickly before we finish, is E8 in the military isn't going to pay the same thing that an E3 is going to pay. So did you want to cover that real quick?
it just goes off of your household income and by rank. So if you are making more money, you are in a different bracket for prices.
Yeah.
So that's why they're asking for the household income and breaking it down like that. So a Lance Corporal is not going to pay the same as a Master Sergeant would or a First Sergeant. So if you have 2 kids going, I get a discount for having the second go. And I don't quote me, I don't remember exactly. I think it's 10% of the total price of the second child. So just know that
helps.
Yeah, every little bit helps. And for the quality of care that you get on base, like I said, my experience has been outstanding. I know that experiences may vary by different bases, locations, people, vaccinated, not vaccinated, whatever it is. I have had nothing but good things to say. And if you have any questions or anything, just reach out to us and I can answer questions about that.
And CDCs are on base. So just like anyone who has to get on base, you have to, show your ID or whatever you have to do, and then you get on base. So like, I think for me, like if I were to use the CDC, like there's some type of comfort in knowing some rando who just feels like shooting up a little daycare can't just come in there. You know what I mean? Like it's a safeguarded,
You just made that really scary, but it's 100% true.
Sorry,
Like,
yeah. When we compare
Yeah.
to like a public school off base versus a school on base,
you have that first line of security,
Right.
In addition to, like, I can't get into the daycare without having my ID card and a scan. Like, I have to scan to get in through the
Right.
door on a little scanner. I have to show my ID card, a proof of ID at the counter to the ladies. Then you have to scan your kids in and out. Like, there is a bunch of security measures that are put in place in order to
Right.
keep your kids safe. I do appreciate that. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's better than, not saying that other daycares off base aren't safe or anything like that, but it's just an additional
you're
line
lowering
of
the
security.
risk. In today's crazy world, I would take, as a parent, I would take lower risk any day.
Oh, yeah.
And just
Everything's a threat until it's proven otherwise.
honestly, yeah. But and I know not all daycares take in how many kids you have there into consideration. Like, you might be paying full price no matter if you have 1 kid or 8 kids there. But also, like, it's nice that they take in your household income, because some places don't do that either. They're like, it's a flat $1,500 rate.
Yeah.
You pay it or you don't.
$310 per week, like,
Yeah.
per kid.
Right.
It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, but let us know if you guys have any more questions. Like Tara said, we will probably do an episode at some point where we're just answering like questions. And then stay tuned. We are going to be doing an episode of vaccinations. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this one. We'll see you later.
Bye.
As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.